Hey everyone, I'm Colby from Sanitarian Productions. We're back again today with another G.I. Joe action figure toy review. This time we're taking a look at the 50th anniversary 2-pack Heated Battle, which includes the Blowtorch figure and the Heat Viper. This is a very cool set. I really love this Heat Viper figure, so I'm really looking forward to actually opening this thing up and taking a look at the figure in depth. But that's what we're going to do today, is just open this thing up and review them real quick. So stick around and we'll get into this thing. So here we have the 50th anniversary Heated Battle 2-pack featuring Blowtorch and the Heat Viper. This 50th anniversary packaging is really awesome looking. It's got the nice little star cut out here. Features the figures very prominently, very nice looking. On the back, got the 2 file cards and then just a brief description here of the G.I. Joe 50th. Very cool looking. So let's go ahead and open this thing up and get everything out. There are just these edges that are taped here, so you can just cut the tape off and this thing slides out pretty easily at that point. Just be careful if you're saving the file cards off of these, because if you cut too hard into them, you will actually end up cutting the file card. Not that big a deal for me. I'm not really going to bother with the file cards, but just something to keep in mind. Pretty nice packaging. So here we have the figures themselves. We've got 2 figure stands here. The G.I. Joe one and the Cobra one. They have the nice 50th anniversary kind of embossed logos on them. Nice gold paint color on them, and the code names on them. So the Joe one and the Cobra one. Very cool. Let's go ahead and pull these guys out. We'll start here with the Heat Viper. The accessories. Somehow. There we go. And Blowtorch over here. So here's a look at all the accessories. So this is everything that comes in the kit. For the Heat Viper, you've got the backpack, the big old bazooka cannon thing, this cool little hose that attaches to him. For Blowtorch, he's got a machine gun. It's attached to his wrist with that crazy rubber bandy thing. A backpack with a nice hose attached to it. A little axe. A fire extinguisher. His flamethrower. And these 2 landmines. Nice little accessory pack. So we'll just go ahead and zoom in on these individually and take a look at them and see what they look like. First up, we have Blowtorch. So this is pretty much just a repackaged version of the single card figure. His helmet is removable, except his head to come off as I was trying to remove it. So be careful of that. We'll pop his face mask off first. See if that helps us any. Maybe, maybe not. So there are two little pegs on the side of his helmet here that attach his mask. And you can see his face in there now. And it's kind of a soft plastic helmet, so you may have to work a little bit to get it off. There he goes. We'll stick his head back on there now. Pretty cool looking. Got a nice little smirk going on there. He's got a fire extinguisher on the back of his waist, which is pretty cool. Nice detail work in the actual figure itself. The costume works very nicely. Again, it's just pretty much the same as the regular carded release here, so shouldn't be any big surprises here. It's a slightly darker color scheme than the original one that was released. But other than that, it's pretty much the same as everything else. But yeah, so his helmet has two little pegs in the side, so you can actually hook up the his face breather. They just peg in there. Then it just snaps on top of his head. And there's this little notchy thing on the top that's supposed to go underneath the helmet, just like that. And then this hose attaches to his vest, just like that. Gives him a nice breathing mechanism. Looking at his weapons, he's got a cool machine gun, the two landmines, the backpack, another fire extinguisher, little axe, and the flamethrower itself. And this works pretty well. You just attach the backpack to the peg in the back, and this little doohickey comes off for some reason, but it just snaps on there. I don't have any idea what it's there for, but there it is. Then the hose attaches to the gun. Fits in his hand pretty well. Got kind of an odd angle on it, but at the bottom there's the peg hole for the hose to fit. Snaps in place pretty well, and it works pretty well for that kind of thing. On his backpack there's a place here to attach the gun or the flamethrower, so when he's not actually throwing flames, there's a peg on the side of it. You just snap it in place like that and he can carry it along with him. So he put his machine gun in his hand, he can carry it, and he's got his flamethrower ready for action. He's also got this cool axe that while it won't attach to him anywhere, he can still hold it and break down doors and things like that with it and break glass. Then he's got this fire extinguisher that will also fit in the peg on his back. So if you, like this right here, so if he needs extra oxygen, he can carry that around with him as well. though it doesn't work as well as the backpack does. And then he's got these two landmines for some reason. And they kind of stack together like that if you wanted to. But there's really no place to actually, no place for them to carry them. So they're just kind of an extra accessory. They don't really fit in anywhere. So, that's a shame. But other than that, it's a really cool figure. Nice detail work. Comes off very nicely. It works really good. So that's Blowtorch. Now we have the H.E.A.T Viper here, which is a really cool figure, and I'm actually excited to get this one. As far as I know, this is a new figure. I think it does reuse some of the same parts from some other stuff, but it's a unique head sculpt. He's got this really cool web gear with a pistol on it. The pistol is non-removable, but it's a nice little touch there. His helmet is non-removable, but it's a cool sculpt. Really nice looking. The backpack just fits in like normally in the peg on his back. With the web gear, you have to either move it down or up to get it to fit in, because it does restrict access to the peg hole on the back. So just kind of move it out of the way however you want to. And just slide that thing in there, and it's good to go. It's got this weird exhaust pipe on the side of it. Then you've got the big old gun. Fits in his hand pretty well. And this really weird looking pipe thing that is meant to attach to the front here, like so. And then theoretically this hose attaches somewhere, but there's really not a good place for it to attach to. I usually try to put it here on the backpack, and it does fit. It does make the gun kind of swing a little bit out there, but it works pretty well. It's a really cool gun. It's pretty much the same as the original H.E.A.T Viper came with from the vintage line. And he's got these really cool bombs on his feet that are also non-removable, but it's a nice kind of throwback to the original line where he had them on his legs as well. So that's really cool looking. Overall, this is a great sculpt. It's a great reuse of parts for the ones that are reused, and I don't know exactly which figure it came from. I know we've seen it somewhere before, but the helmet is a whole new sculpt, so that's really cool. Overall, it's a great looking figure. The color scheme works really well. Very awesome looking. And here are the two figures side by side. They complement one another very well. Very cool little 2-pack. Awesome figures. The H.E.A.T Viper is really the winner in this one, since it is the first time we've seen the H.E.A.T Viper be released in the line. Blowtorch is a reissue, but it still works really well. But it's worth the price of admission for the H.E.A.T Viper by himself. So yeah, that's why I picked it up, as for the H.E.A.T Viper. So that's it for our review for the G.I. Joe 50th Anniversary 2-pack of H.E.A.T Viper and Blowtorch. Overall, I love the H.E.A.T Viper. Blowtorch is the same Blowtorch we've had in every other pack, but the H.E.A.T Viper is very much worth picking this set up just for it. Highly recommended for the H.E.A.T Viper, at least. These things are fairly easy to come by nowadays, so no reason not to pick it up. But Heat Viper, that's the one you want. That's pretty much it for today, so thanks for watching. Feel free to subscribe to our channel below to stay up to date on all of our new releases coming out. If you have any comments, leave them down below as well. And until next time, Yo Joe.